When two people are in a romantic, loving relationship, not only do the energy bodies of the pair, the dyad, begin to merge and mingle with psychic and etheric energy, their minds will begin to slowly merge. And this is just natural because the human consciousness is incredibly adaptive and empathetic, as much as a lot of people want to think that the majority of humans are psychopathic. We are unfortunately going through a very rough transition right now. We're coming out of a post-Platonic dialectic world, and please see my pin post, because it explains a lot of the energetic structures going on right now. But whatever the human mind focuses on, it can absorb and begin to understand and connect with. We are a highly self-reflective and adaptive being. And so when two people are focused on each other in love, usually it starts with a type of courtship where people begin to get to know each other. So if in a healthy relationship, that getting to quote unquote know each other is a multi-tiered and multi-layered being. So of course it's physical because it's romantic. You're getting to know each other's bodies, the rhythms of your sleep, the what gives each other pleasure, what helps each other fulfill their desires, what makes each other happy, dreams. And then that pleasure turns into getting to know each other's dreams, longings, yearnings. The sacral chakras between the two people begin to open up. They share about their wishes and hopes for the future. And once that sacral chakra links with the partner, then the root chakra opens up and they share their fears and their past and the foundation of what they believe their reality is on. Now, if in that process of opening up the root chakra to each other and the fears are exposed, that is the point at which a lot of people shut down their relationship and just keep it purely physical, because if the fears bring up a lot of shadows in the other person, they may retreat and reject the partner's full connection. And so a lot of people, what they do is they just keep trying to have sex in order to heal the relationship, when reality, the key is to share each other's worldviews and fears and triggers and differences of opinion, because only then are the upper chakras able to open up with each other, and then you can begin to share each other's psychic worlds with each other. No two people experience the multitude, the multiverse of cosmic energies and the multidimensionality of the universe in the same way. Each one of us has a different fractal of experience. Like today, I met a really nice woman, and I noticed that she talked about God, and she explained and described God speaking to her. And I was so fascinated because it was completely unlike my experience of the divine. So I always felt very different, because when I was young, I would speak to the divine, but it didn't have a male voice. It actually had a female voice. So I always thought when I was young that God was a woman, that God was feminine. And it was always a bone of contention and confusion, especially in religious circles. But then I began to get really curious, and I would ask my friends, hey, have you had divine experiences? Have you heard words? Like, what does the voice sound like? Like, does it have a dialect? The voice you hear of the divine, does it have a certain cadence to the words? Like if you could think of an actor online, what would it sound like? Which actor? Which movie? What kind of personality is your God? And then I began to realize, after asking people about God, that everybody has their own God. And that was when I became very obsessed with Carl Jung, because I began to realize, like, maybe people aren't actually talking to God. Maybe they're talking to their anima or animus, their subconscious self. And unfortunately, because a lot of us have been programmed that God is masculine because of the old Platonic worldview, where the masculine voice ends up being the dominant persona that controls the world, that a lot of people have forced a masculine view on their divine experience. And also indoctrination, into religion also causes a big change in the subconscious matrix. But I began to realize that in relationships, it is actually an exchange of divine knowledge from the man or woman, from one partner's psychic anima or animus to the other person's psychic anima or animus. And those psychic subconscious layers could be very different, vastly different from each other. And from what I've noticed, I've never met somebody who has the same psychic pattern as I have. And I've never actually seen two people have the same psychic pattern. I have experienced people who have very close, what I would say, opposite polarities in a lot of aspects. Like we had, so it was almost like an energetic resonance where my energy was on one pole of the spectrum and theirs was on the opposite. So it created a lot of energy passing between us, which was incredibly powerful. I think that some people would call that twin flames or divine counterparts. Some people were very close in energetic resonance, which led to more peaceful and kind experience with the personality. But for the most part, I don't think any of us have the same matrix within our soul expression, within our soul's energetic form. So if we're all different, then it really would behoove every one of us to get to know everybody's psychic landscape. And this is where I think religion has destroyed intimacy in relationships, because intimacy is really a spiritual endeavor. And true intimacy in relationships is when one person looks into the soul of another person and says, I have never encountered a soul such as yours. I have never seen another matrix, another flower in the cosmic garden of eternity. I have never seen such a form as yours, and I want to know you completely within and without. And the other person does the exact same. And those two people seek to worship each other as a divine union of expanding their consciousness as to what this energetic world could be. And I think that is the future of relationships. I think that the future of relationships is that we would begin to worship each other as little mini gods of this cosmos and learning each other's magic. And that is what's going to keep families together. But we'll see. Until then.